Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Meg, welcome, and if you're returning, then welcome back. I'm really sorry if you can hear the sound of rain. It is absolutely pouring it down outside and you can kind of hear it hitting the window, so I don't know if you can hear it on video. If you can, sorry, I can't control the weather. So for today's video, I thought I'd do a bit of a different one, not something that I've ever done on my channel, and I'm gonna do a how to grow your Instagram organically in 2021 video sort of thing. And the reason I'm doing this is mainly because I've had a few people messaging me lately asking me how I grew my Instagram, how I get brand collaborations and all things like that. I mean, I kind of decided to start doing Instagram like properly when I started my YouTube channel. Well, shortly after I started my YouTube channel so I started my YouTube in June 2019, and then in October 2019, that was when I kind of started trying to revamp my Instagram, trying to make it look professional because I wanted to make money off of it basically. When I first started YouTube, I had 1,000 followers on Instagram, and I now have 6.6 thousand, which I know isn't that much. It's not that much of a jump. It's not 10k. I wish it was, but everything that I've kind of done to my Instagram over the last year and a bit is what's made it what it is now. And I look back at what my Instagram used to look like before I took it seriously, and I kind of just wanted to share with you all like how I got it to what it is, how I gained my followers, how I got brand collaborations and things like that, because I know that when I was first starting out, I found YouTube videos like this helpful. And obviously I'm not like some huge Instagram influencer. I'm literally like a minuscule micro. I don't even like using the word influencer. I call myself a small fashion blogger. That's what I call myself. And obviously I don't like make money off of Instagram or anything yet. I've had a lot of gifted brand collaborations, but I've not like, I don't make money on Instagram. My job is cabin crew, but I just like doing Instagram and YouTube on the side. I am continuing to grow my Instagram every day, and obviously I want to get to 10k and continue growing from there. But yeah, so I'm not making this video because I think I'm some Instagram star that knows everything. I've just had a lot of people asking me lately, and so I wanted to share with you some of my tips and tricks, because everyone's different at the end of the day, and there's lots of people that could give you advice on it, but no one's going to be exactly the same. So if you guys want to hear how I grew my Instagram and how you can grow yours, then please keep watching. Okay, so before you even think about starting to grow your following or starting to contact brands, you need to make sure that you're ready, like your Instagram looks ready for that. You wouldn't go to a job interview in your pajamas. You wouldn't turn up to your first day at work unprepared. So in order to actually attract people to your page, make people want to follow you and make brands want to work with you, you need to make it look professional. And this is a little something that I like to call the 3 Ps: profile, pictures, and posting schedule. So your profile, it's your shop window. It's the first thing people are going to see when they click onto your name. So let's start at the top, your profile picture. You want your profile picture to be something quite bam in your face. I would avoid pictures of you and somebody else, because sometimes, like if it's a picture of you and your friend, it's not always obvious which one of you it is. Always make it a picture of yourself as well, whatever your niche is. So whatever you're going to have as your main focus on Instagram. For example, mine is fashion. I do like beauty collabs and things as well, but mainly I do focus on fashion. So majority of my pictures are like full body pictures or mirror pictures. And so my profile picture at the moment is a like full body picture of me in an outfit, because that tells brands that I'm a fashion blogger. If you're a makeup blogger, have a picture of a makeup look that you've done as your profile picture, maybe your best one. If you're a travel blogger, have a picture of you in a certain destination that's obvious. Make it unique to what your profile is going to be focused on. Do not, for the love of God, put your profile picture as a picture of you with a Snapchat filter on. I mean, you know, I'm not here to hate on anyone, but I do not understand why girls do that. If you've got Instagram for fun and you don't give a shit, then yeah, fine. But girls that are actually trying to look professional and trying to work with brands are not going to look twice at someone with a bloody dog filter on their profile picture. I'm sorry. For one, it looks immature. It doesn't look professional, does it? Like I said, you wouldn't turn up to a job interview with dog ears on and a dog nose on, unless it was an interview for a person that was dressing up as a dog. But, you know, and that goes for any filter, like any weird filter that isn't a normal filter, if you know what I mean. Anything that involves you looking different, anything that involves something being on your face, don't do it, please. Honestly, I can't tell you how unprofessional it looks to have a Snapchat filter as your profile picture, or on any picture, to be honest, not just your profile picture, but at all on your Instagram. Don't use Snapchat filters. So another thing that you need to look at is your name. That is your name that you have in your bio, and also your @ my @ is Meg R Holland __, nice and simple. My old MSN name, and bear in mind that I'm about to completely embarrass myself on YouTube, was Sexy Megzy, spelled SXC for sexy, and then Megzy, MEGZI, at whatever, msn.com. I mean, when I was 12, that was appealing to me. But if you're trying to be a professional on Instagram and you're trying to work with brands, that's not going to look professional. Make sure that your @ is something simple, either your name, or if you're like me and you can't have your own name because someone else has got it, then just make it your initials. Or if you're like focusing on a certain niche, like I said, like for example fashion, I know people whose @ are like outfits by Jade, for example. Or if you're a travel blogger, travel with Amy sort of thing. As long as it's like relevant and not something like baby gal Gemma XO, no. At the top of your bio, it will give you the option to put your name. I've just got Megan Rose on my profile, mainly because I think Megan Rose sounds better than Megan Holland, but also because it's my YouTube name. It's what I call myself on YouTube, so I thought I'd call myself it on Instagram. Again, make that simple. You can either put just your first name, you can put your first and your middle name, your first, middle name and last name, whatever you want, but just make it your actual name. Don't put something weird that just doesn't apply to you, sort of thing. Especially if your @ isn't your name. For example, if it was travels with Amy, put your name Amy Jones sort of thing, because then when brands want to work with you, they're not going to know what to call you if you don't have your name on your profile. Change your profile to a business profile. Now, I can't actually remember without looking at Instagram how exactly you do this, so I will insert a screen recording, maybe here or here, of how you do it. But basically what this does is it allows you to get insights from your posts. Insights are basically, they show you how much your followers have grown, what posts your followers have interacted with the most, what days your followers are most active, what times they're most active, and it's really helpful if you are wanting to grow your Instagram and make it a professional one. Also, it gives you the option to add an email button, so if brands want to email you, all they've got to do is click on the email button. I actually used to have my number on there. I don't know why. I had like a button that said contact, and then when you clicked on it, it came up with my email and my phone number. But then when I actually started growing my Instagram, because I obviously did that back when I first created Instagram and didn't care, but when I actually started growing it, I forgot that my number was on there, and I started getting loads of weird messages from like creepy men. And I remember being like, what? How are these people getting my number? How am I getting so many messages a day? And then one day I was just on my Instagram, and I obviously clicked on it for some reason and saw that my number was on there, and I was like, oh, better take that off. Yeah, don't put your number on there. If you've got like a separate email that you use for business, put that on there. I just put my personal email on there, but make sure again that it is a professional email. My email is meganrholland@live.co.uk. Don't have sexymegzy@live.co.uk. If your email is unprofessional, make a new one just for business. You can always keep it the same as your personal one, but if you're gonna use it to reach out to brands, etc., you need a professional one. Your bio. I tend to read people's bios when I click onto their profiles. It's up to you what you want to put in your bio, but again, just make it kind of relevant to your page. I always say avoid overusing emojis. I do have a couple of emojis in my bio, but like I've seen some people's bios that is literally just a line of different emojis, and like, what does that tell anyone? That doesn't tell anyone anything about you. In my bio, I have my location where I live, obviously not my exact location, just the town that I live in. Under it, I have my job, cabin crew, and then underneath that, I think I've got for collabs, DM or email. And I also have my 21 Buttons username as well, because I am a fashion blogger. So 21 Buttons is predominantly a fashion app. If you don't know what 21 Buttons is, it's basically an app where you post your pictures and you can tag where your outfits are from, and then people can shop your outfits through your link and you get a percentage of commission, basically. I will leave the link to 21 Buttons and any other apps that I mention in this video. I'll leave them all linked in the description box if you want to download them. Also, it's always good to put a link in your bio. If you've got a YouTube channel like me, that's what I've got in my bio. If you want to put your 21 Buttons link in there, put that in there. If you've got Depop, put that there. TikTok, put your TikTok link in there. Any other platform that you use predominantly to promote the same sort of thing that you do on Instagram, or something that you want other brands to see, put that link in there. It always looks good when there's a link in your bio, trust me. Okay, so moving on to pictures. I've already touched on the Snapchat filter thing. Don't do it. You want to make your pictures look professional. First thing I would recommend investing in, if you don't already have one, is a ring light. I use a ring light to film all of my YouTube videos. The one that I've got now is a big ring light with a phone holder in the middle of it. I got it from Home Bargains. It was literally £20. You don't need to go spending ridiculous money when you're first starting out. I will link my ring light down below if it's still on the website. If not, I'll see if I can find one similar. But when I first started doing YouTube, I just bought a tripod and ring light off of Amazon. It's great for at the time, but I feel like I've kind of evolved a little bit now. I want to get looking a bit more professional with YouTube and Instagram, so recently I invested in a new one and it's so much better. Like, I love it so much. Just looking at it makes me so happy. You can also get the tripod ring lights that come with a little clicker, so you can put your phone in it and then you click a button on this clicker and it will take the photo for you. Obviously it's easier than putting it on self timer. I personally don't have one of those, so I just use self timer. Use your back camera because it is better quality. And obviously if you've got someone to take your pictures for you, that's even better. But I personally don't like people taking my picture. I much prefer taking them myself. Make sure you have clear backgrounds. I'm guilty as anyone. When I first started doing YouTube, I look back at some of my old YouTube videos and there's wires everywhere in the background. Even this wire here upsets me a little bit being in the background, but I literally, that can't be helped. It's the plug for my mirror, so my mirror would literally go off if I unplugged that. So always make sure, like this, that you've got a clear background, or if you take your pictures outside, obviously make sure that the background is nice. Don't take your picture next to a bloody bin. I tend to like white backgrounds because I like the picture to be solely focused on the outfit that I'm wearing, for example, or whatever it is that I'm promoting. Or even if I'm not promoting anything and it's just an outfit picture, a lot of the time I like the focus to be on the outfit more than the background or more than me, sort of thing. Use the same filters on all of your Instagram photos. I use an app called Colour Tone. I'm going to insert a screen recording here of the filter that I put on all of my photos. I use the same one for every single photo. I think it's called Seychelles, I think that's how you say it. And you can edit the intensity of it because obviously not every single one of my pictures is taken in the same location. So sometimes when I put that filter on the picture, it could be either really intense or it can be really dull. So you can either brighten it or you can tone it down. And then literally all I do is I put that filter on, I save it, and then I go onto Instagram, I turn the brightness up, the contrast up, the warmth down, and the sharpness up, and that is it. That is how I edit my Instagram photos. Occasionally I use Facetune too. For example, if I did ever take a picture and there was something in the background that I forgot to move out of the way for the picture, I use Facetune too to get rid of it, like to patch it out, sort of thing. But it's very rare that I use that. Like, I've used that maybe once or twice ever. Having all of your pictures look the same, for one, it looks professional. I love that word, don't I? I've used that word so many times. Also, it's just very aesthetically pleasing to click onto someone's Instagram and see that they have a nice layout, and it just looks neat. Like, I feel like when you have loads of different filters, loads of different colours, as much as if that's your style, it might suit you, I just think it looks a lot neater and a lot more professional if you have the same filter and you edit all of your pictures the same. Also, one thing that I always used to do before I started growing my Instagram is I used to use the app called Instasize, and every picture that I took I would always put it onto those white backgrounds so that it had like a white border around it, which was fine when I wasn't doing Instagram seriously, but now don't use borders. Honestly, if anyone wants to know what I'm on about, feel free to go back and look at my Instagram, because I do still have like all of my old pictures back from like 2014, which is quite embarrassing. So if you want to laugh, feel free to go and look back at all my old Instagram pictures. But if you go back to sort of like 2018 and prior to that, you'll see that I used to put a white border around all of my pictures, but where all of my pictures were different sizes, all of the borders were different sizes, so it always looked very untidy because they weren't the same size, they didn't have the same size border, and it just doesn't look very neat. So don't use borders, just have the full picture. Obviously, the one thing that you have to remember if you're going to have the full picture is when you're taking the picture, make sure that you've got enough room around yourself, if that makes any sense at all. One of the reasons why I used to use the border was because I would take a picture, for example, if I took one like I am now, I would go to put it on Instagram and half of the picture would be cut off because of the way that Instagram works. So that's why I used to use the white backgrounds, because you could then have the whole picture without it cutting any of it off. I don't know if what I'm saying makes any sense, by the way, so sorry if it doesn't. If you know, you know. If you don't, I don't know how to help you. Also, one thing that I do with my pictures on my feed, which I will also insert a screen recording of, I like to make them look symmetrical. So for example, you'll be able to see in my screen recording that I have, for example, a mirror picture, a kind of close-up picture, and then another mirror picture. Or if I've got like outside pictures, I'll have an outside full body picture, and then maybe like an inside selfie, and then another outside body picture. So I basically make the right and the left one the same sort of theme, if that makes sense. Just think it looks quite neat doing it that way. That's something that I've actually only just started doing in the last few weeks. I've become a bit obsessed with it, I'm not gonna lie. I have a planner which has a to-do list for every single day of the year in it, and I write a to-do list every single day. And when I've got, for example, if I've gotten quite a few collabs like I did recently, I think I had around 6 in 1 week, I took all of the pictures on one day, and then I planned when I was going to post each one, and I wrote it down in my planner so that I didn't forget that that's the day I need to post it, that's the order that I need to post it in, sort of thing. I am a bit obsessive, I'm not gonna lie, but these are the sort of things you need to adopt if you want to make your Instagram look professional. Tag the brands of the clothes that you're wearing or the makeup that you're wearing in your pictures, even if it's not a collaboration. For example, this jumper that I'm wearing is from Shein. I'm wearing joggers, which you can't see, but they are from H&M. So if I were to take a picture in this outfit, I would tag Shein and H&M. I would also use their hashtags if they've got a hashtag. I know that Shein's one is hashtag Shein Gals, I think, because the brands sometimes do look at their hashtags and do look at their tagged pictures when they're looking for promoters to work with. So if they can see your picture, they might see it, really like the look of it, and end up reaching out to you. Also, if it's safe to do so, obviously tag your location. Obviously don't ever tag your exact location, because there are some weirdos out there that will see that you're in a certain location and come and look for you. And I don't want to scare anyone there. I personally, if I was at a location and I had my picture taken, I probably wouldn't post it on the same day, because I wouldn't want to post it when I was there. Same goes for Instagram stories, I guess. Sometimes, I mean, I'm guilty as anyone for putting where I am when I'm out, and I've put a post on my Instagram story, but there are some creeps. Obviously, I would recommend having a public account if you want to be a brand promoter, because if you're private, brands won't be able to see your posts and therefore won't bother even trying to work with you, because they won't know what they're looking at, sort of thing. I don't know if I've mentioned that already, but I personally find it so much more effort to follow accounts that are private, because you have to wait for them to accept you, and then they might accept you, you can finally see their posts and they're actually not the sort of thing that you like at all, and you end up unfollowing them. So I would always recommend, if you want to take Instagram seriously, having a public account. I understand why people do have private accounts, people with kids for example, but I personally don't think brands would bother if you've got a private account. But the only downside to having a public account is that any weirdo can see your posts, anyone can comment on them, so obviously you can get trolled, for example, and also creepy men can go onto your story, and if you're in, like, say, the Slug and Lettuce, for example, they can see that you're there, and I don't know, they might end up trying to follow you there. I don't know why people do things, but always be safe when tagging your location is what I'm trying to say. What I mentioned earlier about, I like to call it prime time. So different days of the week, it depends on what day of the week it is, but there's always like a time frame that's best to post on, because that's when most of your followers are active. And with insights, you can actually go onto your followers and see what day of the week they're most active and what hour of the day they're most active. It's usually between 6 and 9 that I will post on a weekday. If it's a weekend, sometimes you could post at like midday, sometimes that's a good day to post, but it all depends on your followers and when they're active. So that's the good thing about insights, you will be able to see when the best time of the day is to post, when it's going to get the most engagement. So take advantage of prime time, and also plan when you're going to post. So for example, I try to post every other day. Lately I've been posting every day because I've had quite a lot of posts that I needed to get up for brands, but normally I will post every other day. Post reels as well. I've recently gotten into reels, and they can really help boost your engagement and your following. If you've ever got a day where you don't have a picture to post, you could post a reel instead. So plan your week. For example, on a Monday, say, okay, I'm going to post Monday, Wednesday and Friday and Sunday, or I'm going to post Tuesday and Thursday and Sunday, or just plan how many times you're going to post that week. Say I'm going to post twice a week, I'm going to post 3 times a week. As with everything, consistency is key, and as annoying as it is, the best way to grow is to be consistent. One thing that I always struggle with, everyone always says, always have something on your story, because if someone is looking through a list of content creators, for example, they're more likely to click on the people that have got a story up, because that tells them that they're active and they're going to engage with them. I know that when you're at work all day, you can't always be active, depending on what you do for a job. Obviously at the moment as well, I have some days where all I do is sit and watch TV all day and I don't have anything to put on my story. So I know it is difficult to put something on your story every day, but try to at least post one thing every sort of 24 hours so that you've always got something on your story and it's never completely empty of anything. If you are short of something to post, look on your archive and look at your memories from like 2 years ago that day or 1 year ago that day. That's always my go-to. If I don't have anything to post on my story, I'll go onto my archive and see what my memories are from that specific day and just post that on my story. Also, when you do post stories, try and make them interactive. Use polls, use question boxes. For example, I'm filming this the day after Pancake Day, but obviously you won't see it the day after Pancake Day because I take forever to edit. But for example, I saw a lot of people putting stories out last night of their pancakes and putting polls, like rating their pancakes, putting question boxes saying what do you have on your pancake. Making a story interactive, one, pushes it more to the top. Instagram will always push things to the top if they can see that people are engaging with them. But also, if you are someone that posts quite fun stories that your followers can get involved with, they're more likely to come back and watch your stories because they find you interesting. So I was actually going to touch on how to gain followers and how to gain brand collaborations in this video, but I have, as usual, rambled on quite a lot and I don't want this video to be about 2 hours long. So if you guys want to, I may do a separate video on how to gain followers and brand collaborations so that I can talk more in detail about that rather than just rushing through it now, because obviously it is quite a large topic to discuss. So if you guys want me to do like a second video on this and talk specifically about gaining followers and brand collaborations, then I will do that. Let me know in the comments below. This video has mainly been focused on actually setting your Instagram up to start being a professional. So definitely take on board some of the tips that I've given you. Start working on your profile now. Choose your profile picture, start working on your bio, start planning some posts, completely give your Instagram a revamp. I know some people like to actually delete all of their old Instagram pictures and start completely fresh with new content, which is fine. If you want to do that, go for it. I personally couldn't bring myself to delete all of my old Instagram pictures, only because I like looking back at old pictures, and some of them that are on Instagram I don't have anywhere else, so I would never be able to see them again if I deleted them. I like the fact that people can scroll back and see how far I've come, sort of thing. You can have a complete revamp and delete everything and start fresh, or you can just do what I did and start working on it from a specific time. So as I said, every app that I've mentioned I will link down below. If I think of anything else that I haven't mentioned that I think is helpful to build your Instagram, I will put that down below as well. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this video, because obviously this is something that I've not really done before, but as I say, I had a few people messaging me about it and I thought it was a good video idea. If anybody does need any, like, don't want to sound like an X Factor mentor, but if anybody wants to talk to me one-on-one about building their Instagram, again, I'm more than happy to talk with you over DMs on Instagram. I've said it already in the video, but my @ is @MegRHolland_. I always leave it linked down below as well. If there's anything that I haven't covered, or if anyone's got any questions, either leave it in the comments below or feel free to message me on Instagram if you want to talk in detail about it. Like I said, I'm no expert, you know, I don't even have 10,000 followers yet, but I did grow from 1,000 to 6,500 in the space of about a year from all of these tips that I've just told you about. So I'm happy to help anybody out. I always say in my cabin crew videos that if anybody's got any cabin crew questions, feel free to DM me, and the same goes for this, and the same goes for anything. If you watch any of my videos and you want to talk to me a little bit more about something, please message me. I respond to all of my DMs unless they are men asking for feet pics, sugar daddies, girls offering me business opportunities, or just brands that are like offering me fake collaborations. That's something that I'll touch on in my next video, is collaborations to avoid, scams that people can fall for. I've fallen for them myself. I'm going to stop talking now because my mouth's going to dry out like the Sahara Desert in a minute. If you like this video, please do give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate your support, and I'll see you in my next video.